Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Slightly different start to today's video. You don't get to see my face today. I'm in the process of recovering after having COVID last week, so I still look a little bit rough, so I thought I wouldn't scare you by seeing my face. Let's take a look and get down our results for the pens that I've been using during December of 2022. Start of the month, we had the Jinhao 992 and Diamine Peach Punch, the PenBBS 308 with Diamine Harmony, the Moonman S5 with Diamine Yuletide, we've got the TWSBI Diamond 580 that had Diamine Winter Spice in it, the Laban 325 with Diamine Brandy Snap, and then the Benu Talisman, and that had a Diamine Garland. Of these pens, there's only two left that have got any ink in them. And I actually finished off the Benu one this morning when I was doing my journal. So let's rank these pens. In some respects, this was a very easy month for ranking. I found out there was some pens with problems, and there was some that were just a joy to write with. And others, well, to be honest, I didn't really care either way. It was nice to use, but wasn't something I'd write home about. Position number 6, that went to the Jinhao 992. There we go. $2 pen. It's a cheap pen, but that's really shown it this month. When I was doing my practice before I recorded last month's pens in use, this pen wrote really nicely. I had no problems with it. It would write multiple pages, no issue. But once we started into the month, I was getting major flow issues. I was finding I'd write maybe half a page, sometimes only 2 sentences, and it would stop writing. There'd be literally nothing coming out. To get it to write, I'd have to do a few quick shakes like this that normally would get it going. A couple of times though, I had to prime the feed. A pen that doesn't write consistent is of absolutely no use to me. Yes, it's a $2 pen. Yes, it's a cheap pen, but it's still not writing consistently. So what use is it? So for that reason, this comes in at position number 6. I know, been harsh this month. Position number 5. This may surprise some people. It goes to the TWSBI Diamond 580. It's a pen I love. It's a pen that I enjoy using. It's a nice fit in the hand. It's a piston filling pen. Yes, that piston mechanism takes up a little bit of room here in the barrel, still holds a lot of ink. It's cleaned out now, obviously, you can see. When I'd finished the month, I stripped it all down and I've put it completely through my ultrasonic cleaner to give it a really good clean. Why this is coming in at position number 5 is, I think it's more to do with the ink. I like the ink. I like the dark brown. I like the sheen. Hopefully the sheen comes through. It's got a lot of this blue shimmer. And I think this blue shimmer is what was causing the issue. Because similar to the 992, I'd be writing away, it would stop writing. I'd have to shake it, scribble off a little bit. It would then start again. What I think is happening, and this is just a guess, I think the feed was getting clogged with that shimmer. That's why I gave it a really good deep clean. Hopefully, when I next ink this up, I won't get the problem. But, as with a 992, a pen that doesn't write is of absolutely no use to me. This was not writing consistently. It would take me twice as long to get my thoughts out of my head. That's not what I want. So, for this reason, this is position number 5. Position number 4. That goes to the Moonman S5. There we go. This is an eyedropper pen. One of the 2 pens that's left with ink in it. And it's still got a good chunk of ink. I think I may roll this possibly into February's pens list, which is a use me up month. Because, I want to empty it out. I don't want to get rid of this ink. I quite like this ink, Diamine Yuletide. It's a nice, I don't know if it's like a greeny blue type colour. Would you call it teal? I don't know. I don't think it is quite teal colour in my mind. Still nice. One of the things I don't like, I think I called this out when we did the start of the month, this section being multicoloured like this just looks odd. I'd like to have either seen it transparent or just a single colour. But this multicoloured, I know this is going to sound gross, it looks like a pool of vomit to me, really is not attractive. The nib is what lets this down. It's a small nib, number 5 size. That in itself doesn't bother me. But what I'm finding with this nib is it feels thin. So it feels like as I'm writing, the tines are moving and crossing all the time. At the start of the month, it was catching on the page an awful lot. So what I've been doing is slowly, each time I've had it out, I've been using a bit of micro mesh and I've been doing some figure of eights, some ups and downs, some lefts and rights, just trying to smooth it out a bit. By the end of the month, this is a beautiful writing pen, but it's still, we get this idea of the tines crossing. I mean, good job it isn't Ghostbusters. We don't know what would happen if we crossed the tines there, but that does detract a little bit from the experience. It's a broad nib, which is unusual for a Moonman pen or a Mahjong pen. It was Moonman when I bought it. It's still actually quite an enjoyable pen to use, a little bit on the short side. What I have to do with this one is I have to use it posted. So there it is posted, there it is unposted. Not a big difference, we're only talking about a centimetre difference. The cap, lightweight plastic, not adding any back weight into it, but it just feels that little bit nicer to use. But for all these reasons, I've decided for this month it will come in at position number 4. So that was the Moonman S5. Now you'll have to excuse my voice, as I say, still recovering from COVID, so I do hear a lot of croaking in my voice. Hopefully it doesn't come through too much on the video. Just move the page up, and we've got the final 3 pens there. You can still see them. So at position number 3, I had to think about this one. This was really close. I've decided to give position number 3 to the Laban 325. This is a pretty looking pen. Look at this gorgeous chatoigncy as we slowly turn the pen around. Looks very nice. It's got a broad nib. I believe it's a Yoho nib. Writes very nice. Cartridge converter. Easy to pull out. I did fill this with a syringe, so I got a load of ink in it. The ink was Diamine Brandy Snap. Again, it's an ink I quite like. It's a nice brown ink. Lots of shading coming through. The only thing I found was it wasn't very inspiring. Yes, it wrote nicely. There just didn't feel to be character there when I was writing. It was as if I was just using it to put words on paper. I wasn't using it and getting enjoyment from it, which some of my other pens, I really enjoy using it. Even that S5, I enjoyed using the S5. The fact it was uninspiring is what's making me think, well, it's not really what I want. Yes, it's a good writer. Yes, I enjoy using this normally, and I think maybe it was the ink. I need to get a different brown ink into this pen. But for this month, this comes in at position number 3. So that was the Laban 325. So we've got 2 pens left. We've got the PenBBS 308, or we've got the Benu Talisman. Which one do you think is going to come in at position number 1? Well, position 2 this month goes to the PenBBS 308. This is in the Mojito colour. Nice green colour. What did I do? I put in a purple ink. I absolutely love this combo. My biggest gripe, the nib's fine. I would have preferred a medium of a broad nib. Remember, that's very subjective. I like broader nibs. The ink, let me just open this up. That's fairly tight. If you did want to eyedropper this, I think it would be possible. We've got very little ink in there. I'm not even going to attempt to do another day's writing with this. Once this video is over, I think I'll just put this into my pile of pens to clean. I've already emptied out 4 pens today. It's been a good day for finishing off pens. Really enjoyed using this. It's a nice fit in the hand. There we go. It fits really well. It will post. Again, I don't post this, just feels too long, but unposted, I find this nice and comfortable. Nice broad section. The section fits my fingers really well. It's got a lip down at the bottom, so that fits nicely. Number 6 size nib. So this is one thing I may do in the future. I'm not planning on at the moment. I do have some number 6 Yoho nibs. I may try swapping them and pop a broad nib into here. Or I may buy some other nibs to put in here. I just don't like the fine nib. But that's a very personal choice. But for all of this, this comes in at position number 2. My pen doesn't want to write. There we go, number 2. So that's the PenBBS 308. So my winning pen for the month, it can only be one. And I've got to be honest, at the start of the month, I really did think this one would be the winner. This is the Benu Talisman. The colour is actually called Dragon's Blood. Your chances are you're fed up with me saying this. This is my Christmas pen. You know, we've got reds, we've got greens, that's sparkling away. Shouts Christmas to me. It's the one pen I wanted to last the entire month, and I have refilled it during the month. Really nice. The ink in here, Benu Garland. Let me see if I can get to come out on here. I'm not sure if you can see it fully. So this is a teal ink. It has a red sheen and it's got a blue shimmer. Really nice. The Schmidt nib on this, again, very nice. Number 6 size nib. It's got a lovely amount of feedback. It's such a pleasure to write with this. The section, it does feel a little bit on the narrow side. So to do with being, I'm only talking maybe 2 millimeters wider. Still nice. As we can see, fits nicely in my hand. It will post, but again, another pen. Don't post it. It feels heavy, feels back heavy. It's not secure posting. Unposted is really nice to use. Let's take off there, then we can see here we've got the converter. This is one of the pens that I wrote dry this morning. So this is going to be going for a good clean. I am planning to put another ink in this. Not sure which one yet. It's really a bit of a hint. It's going to be either red or green. But hopefully that'll come out again in the new year. It's a really nice pen. And as a Christmas combination, I absolutely love this. So this comes in at position number 1. There we go. So that's the Benu Talisman. Let's turn over the page. So I did fetch in another 2 pens. As some of the other pens wrote dry, so that Laban that wrote dry really early on in the month. So I replaced it with the next pen, which you can see there, the Narwhal Nautilus. This is the 365 version. This is Cano Crystals. Pretty pen, one of my prettiest pens I've got. Absolutely love the looks of this pen. In there, we've got Diamine Festive Joy, a nice purple ink. I think purple, that's quite nice on Christmas as well. And I thought, well, look here, we pick up some of the purple here in the cap, so I can say I've got a colour match. I like this has got an ink window. In a way, I would have preferred the portholes, but I believe the material just can't really handle the portholes. This ink window, it's very narrow. I do find that personally, it's very unusable. It's too narrow for me. So double the width, that would be perfect for me. Again, very personal choice. Number 6 size nib. This is the Narwhal nib. They say they're in-house made. This has got a medium nib on it. As you see here, it's it's really enjoyable to write with. My last pen that I brought in is the good old TWSBI Eco. There we go. This had Diamine Black Ivy in it. And as you can see, I've wrote this one dry as well. So that's another one being cleaned out. The nib on this is a 1.1 stub nib. I love this combo. Even the ink, it looks really nice in this. And this TWSBI Eco, when I'm writing with it, you know, it's comfortable. But the nib feels very, very soft and spongy. Yeah, so I feel like I'm getting a really nice, soft writing experience. It's as if it flows over the paper. One of the downsides, again I'm being very picky here, because it's a stub nib, I'm finding that occasionally when I'm writing, the edges of the stub are catching on the paper. Depends what paper I'm using it. Obviously, the more textured the paper, the more often that happens. And I was finding that does spoil the experience because it catches a little bit. But other than that, really nice. I like this ink as well. So this is a very dark green ink. And if I can get the light right, you can see that it's got a nice dark red sheen to it as well. Enjoyable. Again, to me, yes, I know it was part of the Inkvent inks, but it is a Christmas style ink. And I think if I was to put this into maybe a medium nib, it's an ink I'd get away with in a business meeting. But that was the TWSBI Eco. So this month as well, we've been going through Inkvent. I'm just going to pop up a couple of photos for you to see. So this first photo, this is the tray at the side of my desk. These are all the pens that my wife gifted to me. They're all sat there, they're waiting to have first impressions videos made of them. I reckon I'm going to be going at these until maybe April or May, because I don't release a first impressions video every week. Most months, I only maybe do 1 or 2 a month, depends what other videos I'm doing. So there's a lot of content sat there waiting to be created and then released, as I say, maybe up to even May time. And what you don't see on there, I do have another 2 pens sat here waiting. They were what I bought on Black Friday. There's a Monteverde Ritma, and I've also got a Pelikan M205 steel nibbed version, my very first Pelikan pen. So I've got them to do my first impressions of as well. So I've got loads of content to come your way once we hit the new year. So other things that were being given, along with the pens, my wife was giving me a Star Wars ornament each day. Here's a photo of them. You can ignore the ones at the top, the 2 Yodas at the top. They were from last year. But I've looked at these. I was going to take them out of the boxes and try and hang them. But I thought, no, that's going to look really naff. So they're actually displayed now on the cabinet behind me. And in future videos, once I'm able to start showing my face again, you should see them over my shoulder. And there's my big Groku sit there watching what I'm doing. She also gave me a couple of jigsaws, so I've done a couple of them already. I've got 1 more still to do. Here's the first one. This is the child, the Star Wars, the Mandalorian, the child. That's sat there. As you can see, I've got it framed. With all my nice jigsaws, I like to frame them when we've done them. There's also the jigsaw that we've done of the Mandalorian. This has got all different scenes of the concept art from the Mandalorian. I know you can see the reflection out my windows. It's just was unfortunate how it's positioned, but that's another one. I enjoy doing jigsaws. I find them really relaxing. So let's just take one final look at the pens from December of 2022. Position 6, Jinhao 992. Then we've got the TWSBI Diamond 580, the Mahjong or the Moonman S5, the Laban 325, the PenBBS 308, the Benu Talisman. Then the pens I brought in was the Narwhal Nautilus 365 and the TWSBI Eco. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I like making these pens and use videos. They're the ones that I really find that I actually get the most from. Yes, with the other ones where I'm doing a deeper dive, I learn more about the pen. But here, being able to compare and contrast different pens is really interesting. What are your thoughts on these videos? Do you enjoy them? Why not drop a comment down below? Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.